CGI can be a filmmaker's best friend or worst nightmare. When done right, it's seamless and spectacular, from jaw-dropping battle scenes to entire worlds crafted from pixels. CGI has revolutionized modern filmmaking. It's the magic behind some of our most beloved cinematic moments. But when it fails, it's unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. So how bad can CGI really get? Well, you're about to find out. We're counting down the top 10 biggest CGI fails in movie history. So coming in at number 10 is Black Panther: The Final Fight. Marvel has been known for pushing CGI to new heights, but even they have slip-ups. The final battle between T'Challa and Killmonger, it looked more like a PlayStation 2 cutscene than a billion-dollar movie. The rubbery physics and awkward movements made for an underwhelming climax. A shame, considering how great the rest of the movie looked. At number 9, we have the Hobbit trilogy, the CGI orcs. Do you remember how terrifying it was to see the orcs for the first time from The Lord of the Rings? And this too when they used practical effects. Well, The Hobbit threw that out the window and gave us full CGI orcs that looked unfinished. Most disappointing for me was Azog, the main villain, who felt weightless and cartoonish, lacking the gritty realism that made the original trilogy's creatures so terrifying. Sometimes old school prosthetics just work better. Now at number 8, we have X-Men Origins Wolverine: The Claws. Wolverine's claws have always looked super cool, except in X-Men Origins Wolverine. For some reason, they decided to ditch practical effects and go full CGI. The result? Claws that looked copy-pasted from an early 2000s video game with unnatural reflections and ridiculously bad lighting. Now, at number 7, we have Cats. Cats was meant to be a groundbreaking blend of digital fur, motion capture, and live action, combining the best of technology and performance. But what we got instead was truly a nightmare. Floating, lifeless faces that had no clear connection to the bodies they were on, human hands awkwardly draped over feline frames, and feet that seemingly vanished. It was so jarring that the studio had to release a patched version after its premiere to fix some of the worst CGI blunders. At number 6, The Mummy Returns: The Scorpion King. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is one of Hollywood's biggest stars, but in The Mummy Returns, he looked like something out of a low-budget horror game. The Scorpion King's CGI form was bad, even for 2001. With lifeless eyes, stiff movements, and horrible textures, this scene has gone down in history as one of the worst CGI fails ever. In number 5, Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 2, the CGI Baby Renesmee. Twilight had its fair share of CGI disasters, from the inconsistencies of shiny vampires to disappearing scarves and backpacks, but what took the cake was Baby Renesmee. There are many ways to make a baby look realistic in a film, and Twilight chose none of them. Instead, they went with a creepy CGI infant with unnatural facial expressions and dead eyes. Fun fact, they originally planned to use an animatronic baby, but it was so horrifying that they switched to CGI. Number 4 is Catwoman. The CGI action scenes. Halle Berry's Catwoman is already infamous for its over-the-top storyline and lackluster execution, but the CGI takes it to a whole new level. Every time she jumps, bites, or moves with inhuman speed, viewers are presented with an obviously fake computer-generated model. The physics? Completely non-existent. Her movements defy any sense of natural motion. And of course, it's no surprise how this film bombed at the box office. It's a clear visual example of how bad visual effects can pull in audiences out of the experience rather than enhance it. Coming in at number 3, I Am Legend. While I Am Legend delivers a gripping atmosphere and a haunting portrayal of a post-apocalyptic world, one element detracts from the immersion: the CGI zombies or Darkseekers. Instead of horrifying realistic creatures that you might expect from a world on the brink of extinction, we're presented with weightless, rubbery monsters that feel more from a cartoon than terrifying. What makes it even more disappointing is that the original plan was to use practical effects, with actors in makeup and prosthetics bringing the Darkseekers to life. But at the last minute, the filmmakers decided to go with CGI. The lack of physical presence and the overly smooth, unnatural textures make them stand out as clearly fake. Okay, we're almost at the top. Number 2, Green Lantern, the famous suit. When Ryan Reynolds played Green Lantern, he didn't actually wear a suit. Instead, they covered him in CGI from head to toe. The result? A glowing, unnatural outfit that just stood out like a sore thumb. The problem wasn't the suit itself, but how it completely clashed with the real-world environment. The CGI didn't blend with any of the physical elements of the scene, leaving it look more like a poorly rendered video game character than a superhero. Even Ryan Reynolds himself poked fun at the CGI disaster.
And please don't make the super suit green or animated.
And here we are at number 1. The worst CGI disaster was Justice League. When you think of Justice League, what comes to mind? For many, it's not just the underwhelming story or the mixed reviews, but the glaring CGI blunders that made viewers cringe. Let's start with the most infamous of them all, Superman's CGI mustache. Henry Cavill was contractually obligated to keep his mustache for Mission Impossible Fallout, and Warner Brothers couldn't get him to shave it off for reshoots of Justice League. So what did they do? They tried to digitally remove it in post-production. And what we got was a digital upper lip that looked, well, off. But the CGI disasters didn't stop there. The entire movie was riddled with dodgy visual effects. From the CGI battle scenes that felt more like video game cutscenes and high-budget action, to the over-the-top CGI used on characters like Steppenwolf, there were issues everywhere. Now here's where it gets crazy. The reshoots and visual effects for Justice League were reported to have cost Warner Brothers an additional $25 million just to fix these issues. That's a massive budget on top of an already expensive film. With multiple reshoots, director changes, and tight deadlines, Justice League became a case study in how not to handle CGI and VFX on a blockbuster scale. And that's our list. From Mustache Gate to horrifying cats, CGI has given us some unforgettable moments, though not always for the right reasons. So, which CGI fail left the deepest scar? Have we missed any other CGI disasters? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of the best and worst visual effects in cinema.